Greetings and welcome to One Spherical Love, Spirituality in a Modern World, presented by Unispherical Muse, LLC. Now today's sermon session, Past, Present, Future, Health. I know it sounds pretty simple, and it is in my mind, and it always will be. Always has been, always is, and always will be. Now, I've learned that when you understand how things become filtered within your human brain, it takes time to process simply because it is filtering, categorizing, and compartmentalizing within your human brain. Now you have the left and the right hemisphere of the human brain, and they categorize differently. Now when you understand in Ayurveda, Feng Shui, everything through the Orient, you'll begin to understand that the front of your body, the back of your body, the left side of hemisphere of your brain, the right side of hemisphere of the brain, all these body parts relate to certain areas in existence. And you receive information. The information is through your human five senses so that it could be filtered and compartmentalized and categorized. Just like you have a file set up of bills to pay, bills you're gonna pay, and the bills you've already paid. So that file is tangible. That file, you can physically touch it, see it, hear it, taste it, smell it, all the human five senses. And your brain, it believes it's actually physical. That's the key. It believes it is physical. If you have faith in something, you then believe it to be true. If you don't have faith, you don't believe it to be true. That's how it works. And it is compartmentalized and categorized within your human brain of what's real and what's not. Now, when you receive information, you have to understand the information has come to you for a reason. Sorry. It is not a coincidence. It is for a purpose. The same as when you receive information in your dreams. It's totally not understandable when you wake up, but it really is. You just haven't learned how to uncode, open the messages so that they make sense to you. Because the messages are coming from the human mind into the human brain, so then you can compartmentalize and categorize the information. Now, for me, it's always, and I'm sure there's others out there, it's always that in order to do this, the spirit realm talks to me and says, okay, this was your dream, and this is what's being said about your dream. So all of a sudden, I have like loads of information in my brain. I have no clue why I'm receiving this information because I'm learning how to decode the messages. So when I get these things, then it's like, okay, say during the day I was asking, why is it I can't find a pencil? And I can't find a pencil all day. This is just an example. And then when I go to sleep, my mind which is the spirit realm, tells me where the pencil is. So that when I wake up, my human brain, have like the directions, the coordinates, the color and the size of the pencil and everything, and all of a sudden there it is laying on the ground right in front of me. That's how it works for instant gratification. You have something, remember, the universe is on a different time zone. Pluto's a different time zone, Neptune's a different time zone, the spirit realm's a different time zone. So you ask a question, forget about it. The answer will come to you in your dreams. That is your human mind. And then when you wake up and your human brain, all of a sudden you have all this information. That's how it works. Now I get these like, oh my gosh, it can go on for hours every day. It's like, wow, I just wanted to know one little thing. But subconsciously, your human mind cannot pick up everything that has, basically, I say, invaded your world in a 24-hour day. You cannot comprehend and compartmentalize all this information. But your subconscious, however, picks it all up. And in the world of psychology, it's the id, the ego, and the superego. Now, that is, of course, government. And then, of course, when you flip the switch and you go into religion, because which was first, religion or government, okay? That's your choice. Which came first, the chicken or the egg, okay? So, you get your choice, folks. It's this or that. And, of course, when you boil down that egg, voila, you have both, government and religion. They just work in two different hemispheres within the human brain because they have to learn how to be categorized. And when you have learned to do this, it comes with age, which creates wisdom. And then every time something goes on, then all of a sudden, excuse me, all of a sudden you say, Eureka, I figured it out. It's fabulous when you figure things out because you aren't busy judging it. You just ask the question, let the universe come to you in its time zone, to your time zone, and then it gives you your answer. Your key is to remember, that's the big particle. Remembering you asked. You always get what you want, but not how you want it, because you weren't specific in what you wanted. So you have to remember what you asked for. Now, for me as a planner, I don't just plan out this life. I plan out my future lives when I'm reincarnated. Time for a drink. So, in my next life, I automatically know the parts I like and the parts I could leave behind. Now, I love the way I look. Took years to grow into that because I used to think growing up I was the ugliest and stupidest person in the world. So when I grew up, I learned to more value myself. And so then, okay, I am my best friend. I am exactly who I needed to be. Come. And when you begin to understand that what you like about yourself, it will illuminate more. What you don't like about yourself is where you turn around and you say, I prefer this part of me over that part of me. So yes, you're actually talking to yourself because you're giving yourself a pep talk until eventually you feel it in your whole being that that's who you were meant to be. It takes time. If you want to be stupid, you can actually become very stupid. If you want to become innocent, you become very innocent. It's your choice. It's your life path to your soul path. So I find that in my next life, because you got to make a list, what happens is that you see something. You like it, you write it down. Sorry. My esophagus is falling apart. That's part of your throat. And like, wow, okay. I've been in pain since 2017. And I remember one doctor says, oral surgeon or somebody, because I've got 32 doctors now. The one says, this is beyond my pay grade. Because many of the doctors, they truly don't see what it is that I have because it's beyond their comprehension. Because they haven't learned how to compartmentalize yet and categorize. So it's beyond their comprehension because they never chose to learn about that. So I'll be going for my fourth neurologist next month. I already had my 7th CT scan and my 7th MRI. Yeah, it's just an adventure that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. So I remember I have to regurgitate when my esophagus is falling apart. One of the doctors said if you swallow it, you could get pneumonia in your lungs. And there are over 500,000 people worldwide that die of pneumonia. So we're not really into hurrying up to die because I still got a life to live and a lot of things to take care of. So I'm not in any hurry. So in the meantime, I'm regurgitating this. So you gotta, get it out of your throat so you don't swallow it and then spit it out and you move on. You keep on drinking and eating and driving and laughing and you just keep going on with your life. So it's been going on for about a year now. And this is part of the side effects from radiation treatment, cancer treatment. So I'll be going next month. In the meantime, it just comes on. I don't even have to eat anything or whatever. Just like all of a sudden, it decides that it needs to move. So as I'm driving down the road, I'm trying to regurgitate, put my finger down my throat. You gotta be really organized to be able to do that. Trust me. And then people used to ask me, because they hear me hacking, are you okay? You okay? I said, yeah, I just have to spit up my esophagus. And moving on, I used to take it in a little bag. I was saving it and put it in a little bag and took it to the hospital. And they said, no, we can't test it. I said, can you test exactly where these tissue cells are coming from? Is it coming from where the sinuses were meeting in the middle of my head, where the cancer was eating that bone? Or is it actually in my throat where they did the radiation? Well, we don't have machines to tell you what body part it came from. I'm thinking, excuse me? I thought this is supposed to be a cancer center. Y'all are supposed to be in the medical field with all this high-tech equipment, and you can't tell me where this tissue cell from what part of the body it's coming from? This is why I call it baby science. Compared to science around the world that's been around for thousands of years, and you people can't help me? This is why I say, ex-nay, no way. Moving on. Government, ex-nay, no way. Moving on. Because there's so many things that come up in my life, and they can't help me? Excuse me, well, what good are you? And government, religion are the two biggest businesses in the world. Non-profit. So, X-Day on both of those, and I'll just live my life, and I don't need y'all, and that's why I don't take any medication whatsoever. And I'm 61 years old. Thank you very much. I take one, because that doctor had to take out my thyroid 29 years ago. So I'm taking thyroid medication. I'm in my fourth different thyroid medication, because these people don't know what they're doing. And I have family and friends actually say that I know more than most doctors do. That's medical doctor, by the way. Well, because I took the time to filter, compartmentalize, and categorize the information that is needed since I was very young. I'm like 12 years old. Dude, I want to start researching and pick up all the knowledge from all the libraries in the world. That's my pursuit. I want to be filthy rich and wealthy in knowledge. And that's what I'm doing. So, when you understand that each body part is categorized with certain elements, these elements are in the forms of molecules, minerals. The minerals then correlate to certain body parts. It's like, if I'm sitting there thinking, this is for anyone, I just give examples, and I use myself as the guinea pig. I turn around and I say, okay, I'm craving an orange. I never crave oranges. Why am I craving an orange? Well, minerals first, vitamins second, everything else is third. So basically, my magnesium, potassium, and quite a few other minerals my body is craving, but it doesn't know how to tell me, hey, you're craving potassium. So automatically a picture of a food come in my head, and my mouth starts watering about the juice that comes from that orange, which then contains the vitamin C. And as we all know, broccoli has more vitamin C than oranges, okay? So just do your research. Yeah. It's a wonderful world called research. I actually said one time that was my middle name, and one guy goes, really? I said, no, I'm just kidding. People are too serious. It's so boring. I'm too old to be so serious. I'm after 60 now, okay? And the older I get, the more hilarious life gets, okay? So, yeah, I'm always clearing my throat, and I'm having this continuous cough for about a week and a half now. Well, that's because the muscles are so tight, because the mass is growing in my throat that is pushing on my lymphodemas, which then is creating the blockage, which then creates my esophagus falling apart. Don't you just love how things just roll like that? Because the body has to compensate and accumulate the minerals and vitamins from other parts of the body to make that actually happen so your body can still function. But it can only do that for so long. And then it starts to break down because it's too much. It can't handle too much. It can only work so hard. And depending upon how well adjusted your immune system is as to how long this will actually work. Now, back in the day, they didn't have any modern medicine like we do now. So back then, you have a disease, a sickness, they then assume, because remember, religion happened before government became the almighty power, all right? And that's in any country. So in religion, someone is being possessed by an evil spirit. Okay? Now, today we know in psychology, id, ego, superego, that being possessed by an evil spirit just simply means that it is the shadow self, subconscious, in the archetype, the inner child. Okay, so the list goes on. So every culture around the world has their own specific name for good spirit, bad spirit. All right? And it's the same in whatever generation you are. Good spirit, bad spirit. All right? Now, back in the day, they didn't have, antibiotics and all that. Now they have them, and then people are taking them like it's candy. And then they become immune. I never took them like candy. But the fact is, that's what always the doctors are, the go-to. So they kept giving me antibiotics, and then the years flowed by. Guess what? Antibiotics don't work for me. I could take it for a whole week. It doesn't make a difference. So that's when I started going to the herbal shop. And I've been doing that for over 20 years now. And I go in there and I say, I got an ear infection. They give me some drops, and it'll be like, 6 different herbs, marshmallow root or dandelion root or whatever, all these different herbs, and which is perfect sense because I pretty much, since I was 12, I wanted to be like the guy that invented peas, in the biology. I wanted to be like him, where I'm like grafting them and stuff like that. It's all about the plants. I was growing my own plants at 12 years old because I want to know. I didn't, in my subconscious I knew, but in my human brain I didn't, that I wanted to know exactly what body part is affected by these minerals and vitamins. It's the same as if you go into astrology. Now, you go into astrology, and you'll see there's different body parts, just like in Ayurveda, just like holy scriptures in India. It's just the same around the world. Now, Gemini is communication. That's the throat chakra. Then you got the most problematic, what a word, is the shoulders, anything in the upper chest region. All right? And it's all correlated because it is the throat chakra, which is blue. And you keep moving up, and the colors get lighter and lighter. So they start out dark at the bottom, kind of like dirt is dark brown. That's earth. Okay, so you got the earth element, which relates to Taurus and many of the other astrology signs. Okay, so the more you move up, the more the lighter colors get. And that's why blue is great and fantastic depending upon what emotional being you are. Because blue is calming to some. To others, depending upon their emotional level, it is depressing. It's called SAD disease, seasonal affective disorder. So the colors relate to the vibration of the minerals and the vitamins of how they affect your being, meaning how it affects your mind, body, emotion, spirit. So that's exactly what I've been working on since I'm 12. Many people don't understand because they have not went back in time in their past lives to figure out who they were as who they became in this life, and then who they will become in their next life. And that's why figuring all this out, I definitely know that when I'm reincarnated, I want to look like me. I love me. I want the same type of personality as I have today in my next life. And everything that I have experienced, these are key particles for wisdom for your next life. And all this I want to know. And I want to keep all that flowing so that in my next life, I'll know exactly where that key is. That's the human brain. How to open that door. That's the human mind. So, when you have the key, that is the particle. Those are the questions. To open the door, that is the answers. And this is all I want to know. And physically have that key in my next life. So I go to a bank box or a P.O. box, and I open it, and all of my tangibles are there. That's why all my writings and everything, all my podcasts and everything, is because I'm creating my biography for my next life. That's why I do what I do. And I've been doing what I do since I was 12. And numerology, 1 + 2 = 3. What is 3? 3 is 3D, third dimension is what you exist in right now. Okay? So I'm doing exactly what I was meant to do, existing in this moment in time, in space, mass, matter. So it is important to understand who you are, to understand how to help others. Because are you helping or hurting self? Are you helping or hurting others? Person, place, or thing. And as I'm watching this movie, I was doing documentaries for a while. I was getting tired of movies. So as I'm homesick with this cough that won't go away, it's slowly going away, but the older I get, the harder the illnesses take to kick out because your immune system goes down, so you have to build it back up. That's what I'm doing. And that's why I took the week off. Long overdue vacation, staycation. That means you stay in your home and you don't go anywhere. And it's so lovely. I never get enough to do that because I'm working on my fractal postcards. It just takes time. So I always got that side project going on because it's my creative outlet. So when I was young, I saw The Exorcist. And it didn't faze me because I grew up in the religion called Wiccan. So I just watch it, I take in the information, and I filter it. And then I learn how to compartmentalize and categorize the information. You don't have an emotion. And then I'm watching this other one. It looks exactly the same as The Exorcist. And it's The Exorcism of God. So I'm watching this movie. And there's so many things that it's like, wow, this is blowing my mind. That it correlates to the good and the bad. And most people see religion as a metaphor. Some take it realistically. No. It's there for morals and values to teach you good from bad. That's all. And some people take it too serious. Dude, I'm too old to be so serious, okay? That was in my younger days. So now as I'm watching this, familiarity kicks in because it was filtered into two sections, the good and the bad. And the only reason why we have the good and bad is because you have the left and the right hemisphere of the human brain. And then you're learning that this is good for me. This is bad for me. And the more that you learn that, that's why I say spirituality in a modern world. Because you're learning that, dude, back when the Bible was written, there was no computers. So a lot of the things that pertain to today's lifestyle did not pertain to yesteryear. So that's why people get lost and go to substance, because they have no guide of trying to understand the good and bad in today's world, in today's atmosphere, in their own human brain. They don't understand how to filter. They don't understand how to categorize and compartmentalize. So when they do it, it sometimes ends up in the wrong space. And then they create havoc in their own life. And that's just straight up psychology, because they don't know how to deal with the emotions as to how to attach it to the good and the bad. That's all. So when you've studied and researched beyond human comprehension like I have, then it begins to make sense that their DNA is different simply because they've learned how to filter it differently than others. So you're going to get you'll get maybe 10 out of 1,000 that will do a particular personality trait. And then the list goes maybe 1 in 1,000,000 or 1 in 1,000. And, that's how you get your statistical facts, because government loves numbers. Now, watching these, it's the same, these two movies, and in comparison, I sit and think that I'm craving an orange. Now, am I going to eat that? Am I going to drink it? Am I going to wear it? You see what I'm saying? You get the choice of exactly what you're going to do with that orange when you get it. That's why you have to figure out, you always get what you want, but not how you want it, because you didn't define the details of what you wanted. That's why. So when you get the orange, you must picture, okay, I got this orange in my hand. I got this orange on a plate. Well, what color is your plate? I have porcelain. I have one square plate and a little smaller round plate and a mug and a coffee mug. So they're all white porcelain. And because when you've done pottery, you know which is the best, porcelain, terracotta. I mean, you get to know the particular pottery types and how they're made, at what degrees, 12,000 degrees to 16,000 degrees. And then your raku, and you know all this when you've already, done pottery for years. So when I always say I will do more in one lifetime than most people do in 10, because there's a lot to take care of, so to ensure my next life, because I want to make sure I have that key to unlock the door to all the knowledge that I've accumulated from past, present, future into my future lives of what it is I need to do in the next life. And I find it's important to regulate my own self, not a person, place, or thing telling me what to do, what to say, what to think, but I regulate my own self. And how I do that is every morning, like I said, the spirit realm comes in and it gives me all this information. It's like, it's a boatload of info. So then I have to either, thank God now, we have a microphone on our phone and I can record. So I'm doing a podcast. Then I turn it into a podcast. Okay, so I record it. If I have time, I'm at home, I'm typing it up. And because you get this information, and then it doesn't make any sense, technically, until you write it down. So it goes from the brain to your hand, to your eyes. It correlates through the human five senses so that you can compartmentalize what it is that you're receiving, so you know if it's good or bad for you. Because then you've always been documenting, which I have for more years than I can remember. So then this way, when it comes up again, you could say, been there, done that. I know all about that. So then this way, you'll know if it's good or bad for you. That's called karma. Every time you attach an emotion to an experience, you've just created an adventure. And that adventure will constantly live within your memory, which will then activate your emotions. So the more that you learn not to have an emotion, the more that you learn that you are creating karmic credit, not karmic debt. It's that simple. And that's the whole reason why religion was created in the first place. And of course, you know that the religion is merely a direction in good or bad. I created my own religion. That's why my church is called One Spherical Love. It is a spherical spirit that illuminates from the realms of the spirit realm called love. That's what it's all about. It is good and bad of how much you love yourself. That's all. If you have no self-esteem, no self-worth, no self-care, you have no self-love. And that is bad. And then you get to come back and be reincarnated and do this crap all over again. Is that really what you desire? I'm not. You can. I am collecting all the information. So I'm creating karmic credit instead of karmic debt. That's what it's all about. So I get the rest of the week off. It's Thursday. And then I have another day. And at least I'm feeling better than I was. I was like next to dead. Seriously, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. I was so done. That was on Monday. It is now Thursday. And of course, I do my herb tea. And there's 35 different herbs in their ingredients. And you have to take it every 2 hours for 3 days, and it kicks it out. So pretty much kicked out that. But now I'm still at the point of no energy. So it can be a combo. It can be the menopause, hypothyroidism, the side effects from cancer treatment, age. I mean, there's so many factors that gives me less and less energy each and every day, because I've accomplished so much in life that my whole being is getting really tired. Even though my spirit is like, hey, let's get up and go party. Yeah, okay, I'm human, so I have to tell my spirit sometimes, you know what? I'm human, I need rest, I need sleep. Just give me a day and come back tomorrow, you know? So it's still there, it's hanging out, it's illuminating around you. It just is not showing its inspiration until you're ready for it. That's how it works. So it's Thursday, and I have connecting the particle pieces as usual, because I'm watching this movie here. And then it helps to correlate to other parts that I've already seen, heard, done, the whole 9 yards. And then I can add it into the category. How does it fit in the 7 categories of food nutrition? That's what it boils down to keep optimal health in my immune system. Because I have double autoimmune disease. The first was when they took my thyroid, autoimmune disease, and then when I got the cancer, this last time, autoimmune disease, and then now I got the mass growing in my neck, I might have another autoimmune disease. I'm just a collector of autoimmune disease. What can I say? You gotta find the funnies, so you gotta put a positive twist on a negative. I'm just hunting for certain things because I'm so into, since I was 12, getting the information of how does the food, how does the minerals and vitamins and all that pertain to your being in my body, emotion, spirit. This is what I'm doing, and this is what I've been doing all my life. And so then this way, the more I help me, the more I can help others, which in turn helps humanity. And the more that we know about our own selves, the more we can understand why we exist in this time. Why were we created? And this is why. When you figure out who you are, then you can figure this out. If you can't figure out who you are, then you're going to come back and play the same song and dance again the next life, called reincarnation. Birth, death, rebirth is reincarnation. And life is love. Love is life. Blessing from Reverend Lewis. If you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your support.